What's your advice to anyone out there who is planning to like get a home or a house within the next 6 to 8 months? And what are the things they need to avoid?
So what I would say first of all is that if you qualify for a home, do not wait. Prices are constantly going up. Interest rates are unpredictable. You cannot time the market. Most times people try to time the market, they end up paying more for us. I had a lady, she had saved about $50,000 to buy a home. But she said she won't buy until she had 20%. And so we waited. 1 year later, she had used up part of that 50,000.
Yeah.
I got 99.9 problems. This is where we sit down and talk about 99.9 problems. And we ain't scared to talk about them. We got 99.9. Yeah, 99.9. Yeah, 99.9. Yeah, 99.9. Yeah. I got 99.9 problems. This is where we sit down and talk.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back again to the 99.9 Problems podcast, obviously airing over the digital airways of YouTube. To all our subscribers, thank you so much for keeping up with us. And to anyone watching this for the first time, please go ahead and subscribe because we need your support to grow this podcast. We are a podcast because you exist. Without you, we're not going to make this a thing. Of course, I'm here with my co-host, Dredder. You guys already know the gorgeous and cute Dredder. Welcome her. Today, we're going to have an amazing guest. We have an amazing guest today for you guys. And she's the most suitable and perfect for this conversation. She's a mother and she is the best realtor in the United States. I can call her that, yeah. She is a doctor of pharmacy, right? Of course, who leaves pharmacy to become a realtor?
I know.
It's crazy. Guys, www.buyahouse.com. Welcome, Leslie the Realtor, to the show.
Thank you. I'm
Thank you so
excited
much.
to
Thank
be
you so much
here.
for coming. Let's have a toast. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Woo. I bet it was a long drive here.
Yeah.
It was, but I have been looking forward to coming here today. So thank you for having me.
Yep.
Yeah. When Leslie said we were going to be talking to Leslie, I was like, what? Am I going to be
Crazy,
talking
right?
to you?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to see how it's going to look like today.
Also, you got here before you realized
Yeah.
that there was
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
lesson.
So how's your Sunday going?
Oh, it's been going well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
busy, but I'm glad I made it here.
yeah, that's great. It's been pretty warm these days.
Yeah. That's a good winter.
So I guess Leslie knows a lot about you, but I and our viewers don't know anything about
I don't know
you.
anything
So,
about her.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her.
Would you like to give us?
I just know her name is Leslie too, like mine. So I don't know her name. Yeah, so she's definitely gonna tell us a lot more about
Yeah.
herself.
So would you like to give us a picture of how Leslie's life is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my name is Leslie. I go by Leslie the Realtor. I'm a realtor here in Minnesota with Rich Realty. And I have been a realtor actually just for about 3 years. I got my license December 2021. So it's been an amazing journey. I know I got to the top really quickly, but that is because of some of the strategies that I implemented. Married with 3 kids. I'm leaving
You
one
look
out.
amazing for me.
I'm leaving one out.
Really
Please
amazing.
forgive
I
me.
guess after this, I'm going to ask you your tricks on how to keep the body.
What the
I
secret
walk
is?
out, I walk out. That's just the secret. Yeah, so I came to the US like most other people from Cameroon initially, went to UK for studies and then found myself in the US. Went to pharmacy school, graduated from the University of Minnesota here in the Twin Cities, and got a job. I really love my job. I had no problem with it. I was in long-term care, and long-term care is easy. It's just me and my colleagues and technicians.
Yep.
Everything was going fine until I realized that the way inflation seems to be growing, the rate of inflation, my income seems to be going down. So I wanted to somehow find other ways to increase my income and just diversify my portfolio. And so I decided that, everybody says real estate is the best way to make money. So why not get my real estate license and I'll be a pro? So I got my real estate license, and then I realized that I know nothing in real estate. Practically, they've taught me what it's all about, but the practical part, I had no clue. So I continued working in the pharmacy until eventually I got laid off. I got laid off, and then it dawned on me. I got so angry.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been looking for
laid off. Was it during the
COVID.
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 Okay.
Yeah, we lost about 50% of our business. So
My
many
goodness.
of us, they just let us go. But it was good.
So you were a pharmacy for a private sector then?
It's I would say it's a private sector. It's not like one of the retail pharmacies. There was only one in Minnesota. They have one in a few states, like one each, but it's not a big pharmacy. So many of us were laid off, and even though we were going to be paid for 6 months, I just thought at that point, prior to us being laid off, we saw it coming. Like every time we lost business, we knew it was just a matter of time before they start kicking some of us out.
Yeah.
So we're constantly worried. Every day we came to work, everybody was stressed. So when it happened, my colleagues were angry that they had lost their job. I was happy and angry because I said, okay, this is my opportunity to really focus on real estate. We were getting paid for 6 months, so it's not like the income wasn't coming. Just sitting at home, not doing anything. I said,
money in your account. Yeah.
Why others were getting a second job, because now that will be 2 sources of income. I decided to focus on real estate. But I was more angry because, to me, I said, I let somebody determine if I was going to put food on the table for my family or not. And I have been worried for so long, and it still came to pass. So I said, it is never going to happen in my life again where somebody will have to determine if I make money or not. And so I decided to, am I talking too much?
No.
It's okay. It's okay.
I decided to, I said, okay, if I want to do real estate, one, it's not just for the money. I need to really know what I am doing.
Yeah.
I need to, for me, anything worth doing is worth doing well. I have to be extremely good at it. And then the other thing, I had to, for me to not be in pharmacy or just work part-time in pharmacy, I had to make at least the income that I was making in pharmacy.
Yeah.
So that
at
was
least
like
to make up.
Yes, that was a high bar that I was setting up. So I just said, while my colleagues were looking for another job and say, hey, I get my severance pay and then I'm making money this way, so I have more money. I said, no, I'm not looking for a job. Went to my brokerage and I said, I need you to pair me with one of your top realtors. I need to learn fast, learn the accurate ways of doing things, and learn it quickly. And so I was paired with this African American dude, very good at what he does. So we will meet in the office every day, 8 hours, about 8 hours a day. So from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., we'll just sit. We come up with our goals for like the week, for the month, for the year. Say, hey, I want to sell 8 houses this week. Okay, how are we going to do that?
Yeah.
This month, how are we going to do that? Okay, these are strategies we'll implement. And then we'll do some cold calling. We had a list of people who are searching online for houses. So you'll be searching and we'll just call you, say, hey, I see you're looking for a house. And I'll be like, where did you get my number
now
from?
Now I see why people sometimes just come and say.
Those names get sent to us. So we'll call just out of the blue. Some people get extremely angry, they curse. Others will be like, oh, wow, somebody actually called me and they're happy they want to work with you. So we'll do that, and then maybe around 2 p.m. we'll meet again, discuss, talk about what went well, what didn't go well, some of the problems we encountered, and then we'll re-strategize, like, hey, okay, tomorrow this is how if we have the same situation, this is what we are going to do. So we did that, and then in the evenings we'll go for showings, for appointments, listing appointments, meet with buyers, sellers. show houses, and that's all we did for those 6 months. So by the time I was done, I was extremely, I mean, I hate to say brag for myself, but I knew I was among one of the best. Yeah. So at that point, starting to get so many clients, because when I was working with this other agent, there was some kind of a commission. Like he was, when I make money, he gets a percentage. Yeah. So when after those 6 months, I was getting so many customers, doing so well, but I was kind of afraid to just go on solo. I said, it's just 6 months, and now I want to try to do all this by myself. I don't know if so I approached him and I said, you know what, let's reconsider this split. I feel like I don't need you anymore, but I still want to work with you. So
you had to
like
go
a partner.
independent.
Yes, I still want to work with you. Maybe we can reduce.
Do a
And
partnership.
He said no. So everybody just said you can do it. Just
Okay.
Wow.
So I decided to go solo at that point, and yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I switched from that cold calling because I hated it so much. You have to be mentally prepared for it, because people will insult, they would I mean, every once in a while you get clients that way, but I switched to social media, which has been the ultimate source of my clients.
Social media have actually impacted your business
a lot,
gratefully.
a lot, especially with Gen
Gen
Z.
Z.
Oh my goodness.
Gen Zs,
They find everything on the internet. Not just for themselves, for their parents and for family. So they'll be like, I've been watching you on social media. My dad is looking to buy a house.
That's a perfect example of actually using social media in the right way.
And I'm surprised because before now I thought that people reach out to realtors, like for you to say that you actually monitor the internet and see what people do if they're searching for houses is really interesting.
Okay, guys, you can actually follow her on Leslie the Realtor, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. She's everywhere, right? Reach out to her. I know you guys out there want to get a home anywhere in the United States, right? Reach out to her. She's the best. I can assure you that. So, be it as it may, in the United States, right? Can anyone actually own a home?
As long as you're a legal resident in the US, you can own a home.
So what about non-legal residents?
Then you
have to own?
You pay cash for it. You
Wow.
buy a $300
That's a
thousand
lot.
house, you pay cash for it.
So you're saying someone who's just a student or let's say filed asylum cannot own a home?
No, they can own a home. They are legal residents.
Oh, okay,
They are
that's legal.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I mean,
okay,
somebody
okay.
who does not have papers.
But
somebody
like,
who don't,
most of our black people do not like buying houses. They would rather rent and then go invest back in Africa. Do you think that's the best idea? They feel like renting is way better than, buying a house. Because
that is something I speak about so much. I mean, people buy back home. How much money do you make from the house that you have back home?
Who's even living there?
Either nobody is living. Either nobody is living in it, or you're hardly making any money from the sale. Family members are misusing it. So I usually tell people, yes, it's okay to build back home, but start by buying your own home here in the US, and then as the equity grows, you can tap on that equity and build your home back home.
Okay. So to some of our audience who don't know what equity is, can you actually tell them what it is?
So when you buy a house, say you start out about 400,000 house, over time that house appreciates. So that difference is called the equity. As you pay down that 400,000 too, it adds to that amount that it's appreciating by. So that together is called equity. So depending on the market, there was time where within like 2 years, people's home values were going up by about 50,000 or so. So you can take that money out. Then that's what most people use to like buy second homes, third home, or you use that to go buy a home back.
So can you get that equity out to do any other business venture?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
must it be only for like a home purchase?
No, you can use it for, people use it for renovations. I've seen somebody take it out to like they own an NGO, non-government organization back home, and they use the money for it. It's a risk you're taking because when you take out that equity, maybe you had paid it down to 350, now you're going back to 400,000. So I mean, you can't take all of it out. You're taking about 80% of the equity
course,
out. But you're going back now to, like, you're almost starting afresh. So it's a risk. You have to weigh your benefits and your risk before you take.
So when is the best time to buy a house?
Oh my gosh. I usually say whenever you're ready. It's very difficult to time the market. I remember during COVID, interest rates were lower to 2%, and then it went up to 3%. And then those who were trying to buy at that time, they said they were waiting for it to go back to 2%. So how long ago was COVID?
4 years.
ago.
How many years later we are 7%? So they haven't bought a house.
Wow.
Oh, there's no change at all.
Interest
It
rates have
increased.
gone
It keeps
up.
going up. Yeah.
Prices
My
have
goodness.
gone up. Some of them can no longer afford a house because the market has outpriced them. So I usually say,
So do you think it's actually going to get better or worse?
it's hard to tell. I mean, last year they said they were going to reduce the interest rates. Like how many times? They did a few times, but it went back up. So it's really difficult to predict if the market is going to change. Now, what I tell people, because some people are like, maybe I should just rent, maybe I should just buy. If you know you're going to live in that house for more than 4 or 5 years, it doesn't matter when you buy, because these rates go up and they go down. There was a time when interest rates were about 16%, and people bought houses. And now they are selling those houses.
I can imagine how much your mortgage a month can be for a 16%
now,
rate.
that was back in, I think, maybe like 81. So rates go up and then they come. It's always that cycle. But the problem is prices are also
going up as well.
Even though price goes up and down, but it's, if you were to draw a line, you see that it's actually just going up. Yeah,
So what is your advice, right? What's your advice to anyone out there who is planning to like get a home or a house within the next 6 to 8 months? And what are the things they need to avoid?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would say, first of all, is that if you qualify for a home, do not wait. Prices are constantly going up. Interest rates are unpredictable. You cannot time the market. Most times people try to time the market, they end up paying more for us. I had a lady, she had saved about $50,000 to buy a home. But she said she won't buy until she had 20%. And so we waited. 1 year later, she had used up part of that 50,000. And then, so the price of that house had gone up. So now she does not have 20%. So she bought that time. So she's paying more for a house and she didn't have the 20%. So I just say
So was it the first? Was she a first-time home buyer?
She was a first-time home buyer.
Okay, so does the down payment matter when you're buying a home for the first time? Because what was the point of her waiting to put in 50 grand down or 20%? Because I know you can buy us from 3%.
Yes,
right?
Yes, you're very right. So when you're buying a home as a first-time home buyer, if you're a second-time home buyer, the requirement for your down payment is 20% and above.
Okay.
But if it's a first-time home buyer, they try to make it easy for first-time home buyers to buy a home. So it's either, if you're a veteran, 0%. You don't have to put anything down unless you want to. But for most other people, it will be 3% or 3.5%. So it makes it easy for most people to buy. But when you put down 20%, there is something called mortgage insurance. So if you put down 20%, you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. So that's what they are trying to avoid. But the benefits of waiting to have that 20% does not outweigh the benefits of just buying now. Because for her, the price increase during that 1 year, she did not even have the 20%. And then now she's paying more money. The price increase was more than what she could possibly even save within that period. So I just say buy the house now. Let your equity grow. If you plan to be in that house for at least 5 years, regardless of how the market fluctuates, your home value will go up. But if you're saying, I just want to buy a house and live in it for 2 years, then in that case, I don't know.
Okay.
Because
So-
you may end up, prices may drop.
So within the 2 years, can you still build enough equity?
Oh yeah, you can, but it's unpredictable. So if it's just 2 years, then I tell you, if you say I want to buy a house, live in it for 2 years, and move to some other state, that I cannot predict because maybe as values are, the value is fluctuating. At that point that you want to move, your value may be down. But if it's 5 years or more, that value will be up there, regardless of how it fluctuates. It would have gone up.
As a realtor, how is your work schedule like?
I don't know if we have a schedule. I usually say I traded my 9 to 5 job for a job. I put in about 16 hours a day.
Oh
like
my goodness.
Some days, I mean, if you want to be self-employed, right?
Yeah.
You have to put in the time. Some days I wake up at 3 a.m. and work. I still go to the pharmacy 1 or 2 days a week.
Okay.
Just
To build the skill.
I
to
didn't
keep it
want.
intact.
Eventually, I would
So-
probably stop, but I don't want to lose my license.
So you're
at that
saying
point.
they're saying the license is still active? So
It's still very active.
oh, so
Okay.
you're just
Yeah.
doing it to keep the license active?
Yes, but even on those days,
Yeah.
I put in more than 8 hours of real estate work. I wake up about 3 a.m. I'll work until about 8, then get ready for work, and then when I come back in the night, I continue. So
No.
it's, yeah.
16 hours is a lot.
Oh yeah.
Then
trust
how do
me.
you make time to like spend with your kids or have fun? Because you know, I mean,
Yeah.
that can be stressful.
It's not easy. That's why a lot of times it's when I'm doing things with them, like, hey, I'm braiding your hair, and then we have these 6-8 hours that we are just talking, or maybe we're watching something on TV together. But yeah, I'm bringing them to an activity that we are chatting. Yeah, it's not, for a start, it's not easy. And then now I got them all involved in real estate. I'm trying to get my son to get his license as
Okay.
well.
Wow.
Okay.
So that at least he can help.
That's
Wait,
really nice.
your kids
yeah.
are grown?
My son is 18. He's
Oh
in
my
college.
goodness.
So-
What?
yeah, so
Big boy.
and then the girls are already involved. Like my daughter, she will do home tours,
Yeah.
show
Wow.
houses, and she's 10, but she's
I'm sure
Yeah.
when people see you out there, they're always thinking that those are your siblings.
oh. You know the funny thing about that. When I'm with my son, there was one time we went to a restaurant and we were just eating, and the waiter came and he said, "Mom, that's your mom." And he just
They're like, that's your mom? So they were
down.
shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, he just held his head down. It just like,
Wow.
yeah, but yeah,
It's really fun though.
Yeah.
it is.
It's
It
really
is.
fun. So there's, I know like there's actually commercial real estate and residential. Which one are you actually specified in, or you actually do all of it?
So usually when you take your real estate, when you study, it's mostly for residential.
Oh, okay.
And then when you get your license now, you can decide if you want to go into commercial. Either way, you have to join a brokerage,
Okay.
which according to Minnesota law, you have to work with a brokerage that is supposed to teach you for about 2 years.
So
And
the
then-
commercial
2 years.
is a different
Do
license.
they pay you?
No, you pay them.
So-
What?
Yeah. So
Pay them for 2 years?
Oh, every time you work,
Yeah.
they take a split. They get a split.
yeah, you
Oh
actually
my
pay them to get the
goodness.
license.
Yeah, there's a split. So you interview different companies
Yeah.
and decide which one is best for you. Because some will say, hey, your first 4 houses we
Yeah.
sell, we're getting 75%.
Yeah.
You get 25%.
So
Some
so
others will
so
say
are they
50-50.
Whoa.
are they doing that because the commercial real estate actually gets more money?
No, so this is in general, right? So
Okay.
you can decide now if you want to lend with a commercial broker,
Brokerage, yeah.
yeah, or you want to go residential.
Okay.
So most people will start with residential. Right now, I'm working with a commercial agent. I'm
Yeah.
gradually learning the process because it's quite different. We've had realtor. We can sell both, but if you don't have the knowledge and you're greedy, then you try to sell commercial. You can have your license suspended because
Yeah.
you're doing the wrong thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had some realtors whose license have been suspended. We say, "Oh, I can sell commercial and paperwork. Everything is different."
So
and
all that
you get
just
in
because
trouble.
of the greed.
Yes, yes. So yeah, so I just say, like I say, everything worth doing is worth doing well.
I know
Learn,
there's
learn, and then
yeah, I know there's a lot of people who just get into the real estate thing because they see it's giving the money,
yeah.
or because someone else is doing it that they know.
Yes.
How is it
Peer
important to
influence.
how is it important to know what you do? Because
No, it's very
I see you do it like a passion.
Yeah.
Right?
You need to like it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but some people, they do it because of the money.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So, what's the importance of actually knowing your craft?
No,
Yeah.
it's very important. What I think one of the reasons that got me to the top is when I got in, I have my pharmacy income
Yes.
coming, so I wasn't under pressure to like pressurize you to buy now, and not really care about if it's best for you or if it makes sense for you to buy now.
Yeah.
So my main focus has always been to educate. I will educate, not necessarily, like most realtors, they even want to educate is like home buyers, home sellers, because they are trying to get those deals. But the kind of education I provide on social is for everybody. Like even homeowners, like, hey, this is what you should do to get your home value up. Or, okay, make sure you have, what are these things called? That will, energy efficient gadgets that will bring your value up. Or I'll say, okay, now it's a good time to refinance. So even people who haven't bought from me, they will follow me because they know regardless of whether you're using me or not, you will get those things. But most other agents will just tell you, hey, sellers, this is what you do. Buyers, this is... But I try to give everybody education. Let me tell you.
As much as possible, yeah.
Okay. So, if I want to buy a house, or if maybe any of the viewers want to buy a house, why do you think we should come to you?
One, because my main focus first is education. I know when you're educated, you are more comfortable buying. You know what to expect.
Exactly.
And then we work accordingly. I can talk with you and know your specific circumstance. I work with a bunch of lenders. Many lenders, a bunch. Many lenders.
Okay.
Based on the conversation we have, I know which one to pair you with. They are all very good, but I know, hey, you will connect better with this person, or they can help you better. And then the resources that are out there, I am like, because for two reasons. One, I got to the top really quickly, and with my background in pharmacies, when I have the confidence and everything to negotiate those deals, I don't go out there, and then have a lot of respect from all the other people that I work with, lenders, title companies. I'm highly connected to. So a lot of lenders, they're constantly calling, like they want to partner with me to help clients and stuff like that. And they'll be sending me information like, oh, this down payment program just opened up. You got anybody who is looking to buy? So I get those updates really quickly. Even for new homes, the new home consultants, most of them know me by name. So when they have a promotion, like price just went down, or now they are having 4.99% interest rate, one of the first person they'll reach out to will be me and say, hey, we have this deal. Do you have a buyer for us? So it's working out that way, and I can use all that information now to help my clients. But the other thing too, I am constantly learning. Like I have to be on top. I don't even want to be at the same level everybody. I am constantly. So if I say I'm putting in 16 hours, because I'm doing research. I'm like, if you ask a question, I'll give you the answer I know, but then I'll go and do research. I have to know everything about that thing you just said. So I am constantly just learning to be on top of my games.
Damn.
Yeah.
So guys, you guys see the reason why she's the best, right?
Yeah.
You see the reason why she's number one as what she does. That's why it's important for you to, like, know the realtor you're going to, and know and be aware of what she knows, so that she wouldn't, or he or she out there wouldn't lead you the wrong way.
Yes.
Be it as it may, we're seeing a lot of communities, Asians, Latinos, for example, Indians. Because in the UK and some parts of the United States, some states, we've seen situations where a whole neighborhood or block is owned by a particular race. They're coming together and acquiring these properties, acquiring buildings and homes and stuff. We don't see that a lot in our African community or Cameroon community, for example. Why do you think that's the case?
I think a lot with our community in general, we are not very supportive. Not very supportive. Like people want to succeed on their own. They may find something that is beneficial to most people, and they just go acquire it by themselves and sit quietly. And even when you ask them, they'll be like,
no one
they'll
want to
say
share
something
no
different.
one
like
want to share that information
they
with
don't
you.
share that information. So that's why it's like everybody is trying to figure out the way by themselves. But most of these other communities, you see, say maybe Asian, Chinese, they'll start by buying a house, and like so many of them are inside, and then they start buying other. So they work together, but for most of us, it's just like everybody's trying to be better than the other person. They want to get ahead of the next person.
Competition.
It's not helpful to us.
It's crazy because there was this neighborhood I used to live in 5 years ago. There was this house, and there were Asians living there. I used to see like 10 of them.
Yes.
And then the funniest thing is, it was just like 2 to 3 cars parked there.
Wow.
But 10 of them live in it.
Yeah.
And like they're driving the same car, they're carpool to their jobs or
do
whatever.
things together, save money.
And it helps you save better.
So I happened to ask, and then it was like, okay, they live in here, one person owns it. They're going to acquire the next one. The person who lives there is going to stay with a few people. The next are going to leave. They contribute the money, go acquire the next one.
Exactly.
My goodness.
That's
a good
So
strategy.
it is, they've been doing it. Latinos, Indians, they've been doing it. So guess what? The reason why I asked this is because I did some research. In the UK right now, it is projected that by 2030, 70% of the real estate in the United Kingdom will be owned by Indians. Do you know that?
I can see that happening.
Yeah, so because when they got in there, they come together as a group, as a community, contribute money, live modest lives, buy the property.
Yes.
And even in the United States, it happens. But you don't see that a lot within us.
African community.
Yeah, which is, I see it as a problem.
It is a problem.
It's a problem. So, I mean, I don't know what do you think, like, people can do out there, you know? Like, what do you think our audience, to anyone watching this, it might inspire them to, like, come together with a group of friends and acquire some property? What do you think, and how do you think they can be able to, like, overcome these challenges, or the competition mindset, or you know?
That is a tough one. I guess first of all, they have to educate themselves. I mean, one thing I always say what is yours will never go to some other person. So no matter how you fight to be ahead, if that person has to get to the top, there's nothing you're going to do about it. But we need to learn to realize that the more you help others,
the more you grow.
The more you get lifted up. But unfortunately, maybe we need time to catch up with that. Some people are starting to do that now. I mean, for me, a lot of times I just say, when I'm doing my things on social, people say, how dare you? I say, I'm not expecting business from my community. But I don't. If it comes, it comes. But usually, it's from a lot of my clients from other communities. So
and that's
it's
a bad
like,
thing.
it doesn't matter if you guys don't like what I'm doing, or you like it, you benefit from it. But the one that you don't like so much, now you criticize. I can't satisfy everybody.
That's right.
But we need to support our own. It's very important. I'll be honest with you. Even when I went to pharmacy school, I mean, things have changed a lot now. It was difficult because when I was taking my prerequisites and people ask, what are you studying? I said, I want to get to pharmacy school. The negativity, my goodness. Do you know how many people have tried it before you and they have not succeeded?
Or they'll tell you it's so many years to go to pharmacy school.
That this person started, now it's like 8 years later, they haven't even gotten into pharmacy. It was just crazy. At some point, I just tell everyone I'm going to nursing. Like, that's a good one. Just
want you to do the regular.
Yes, And then when I graduated, like, how did you do? When? Like, I was like, because I realized I had to keep my mouth shut. So, I mean, it's gotten a lot better now. Everybody's going to school. Everybody's getting an education. So it's that is no longer a problem. So maybe eventually we'll catch up with the trend. But a good thing now, with the education we are providing, a lot of people know they have to get a house. I mean, some people are not buying because they don't even think they can afford a house, but they can. I'll talk to people now, as I'm talking a lot about all this down payment assistance that they should take advantage of. People are calling and then you realize their income is almost 200,000
Wow.
a year. I'm
And
like,
they can't
how do
qualify.
you-
And
how
they can't
do-
qualify
They
for
can't
it.
qualify. I say, how did you not have a house in the first? Because they didn't even think they could
Yes.
get a house. So education is very important. It's very important.
About the down payment assistance, what's the income bracket for that?
So there are in Minnesota, there are more than 20 different down payment assistance. The best one that I know of is this first generation down payment assistance. It's about, there were two of them. One ran out of funds.
Yeah.
The second one now, it's $32,000 that you get, but your income has to be family income under 124,000. Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're making over 124,
24,000,
you're
yeah.
rich.
You can actually
You're
buy
rich.
a home.
Yeah, that's
So-
why when they call and they
well,
don't qualify, I say, why
yes.
did you not have
Yeah.
a house in the first place?
Well,
Like,
in the United States, they consider that as rich.
yes.
Well, but I think in 2025, most people are scared because,
Yeah.
the 150 isn't even cutting it out.
Yes.
Anymore.
When you think about the bills,
When you
and-
factor in the bills, yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
it's
it's
you
scary.
don't
It's
even
crazy.
see anything at the end of the
Yes.
month.
So they actually give 35 grand down payment assistance.
Absolutely.
Meaning if someone is making about 40 grand a year,
Yes.
if they have 15 grand to put down for down payment, that is the money they've saved up.
Yeah.
They can add to that 35
can
and have a
add to
huge
it.
down payment.
Yes. Yes.
So what's the downside to that?
The down payment assistance?
Yes.
To be honest with you, this particular one, there is no downside to it. If you qualify for it, it's free money. The only condition, live in it for 5 years.
Oh.
Every year you live in it, they forgive 20%. So if you move out before then, they will calculate the number of years that you've lived in it and forgive that.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay the rest. But they forgive that. Many other programs, there's one now for up to $93,000.
Yeah.
But you have to live in a particular county.
Okay.
And if you don't like that county, then it's not for you. If you don't like the houses in that county, it's not for you.
I know.
But you have to live in the house for 20 years.
Yep.
Every year you live in it, they forgive 5%.
My
Oh.
goodness. Because I know a lot of people will be scared of that free money because
Yeah,
they
most
think that
people-
America loves when people are in debt.
You
Yeah.
are very correct. Many
Yeah.
people call me and it's like, what is the catch? That there's no free money in
There's no
America.
way.
I said it's free, and
Yeah.
they say it's not free. I say, well, keep on
So
doubting.
you're saying there's the one for like 5 years and then there's one for
20
years.
years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can someone who because I know before, right, prior to let's say 7-8 years ago, in the United States, we didn't see a lot of people making over 50 grand a year. It used to be group home,
Yes.
nursing home, all of these things. But now a lot of people make 100 grand and above
Yeah.
because we're getting into nursing.
Yes.
Nurses are making
everybody's
$50
going
an hour
to
now.
school
There's
now,
IT,
getting a
there's
good
school,
job,
there's stuff.
yeah.
So you're saying that to our audience out there, anyone can be able to own as much as long as you have the income.
If you have
Yeah.
the income
And
and
the down
you
payment.
qualify, the down payment, that's where the down payment assistance comes in.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now, the things that a lender will look at when you're buying a house, they will look at your income. They'll look at your debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
They will look at your bank statements, and they will look at your pay stubs for the last month. So they'll look at that, your credit score, and then based on that, they'll qualify you for a house. So if your credit score is messed up, no matter how, if you're making 500,000, you're not going to buy a house. If you are making $1 million and you have debts like 900,000, you're not going to buy a house.
Wow.
So they look at all those things before they. But I always tell people, when you call me, I won't know. I'm not a lender.
Yeah.
I won't know, and you won't know. All we'll do is guess, like, oh, maybe because of this or that, maybe you qualify, maybe. But talk to a lender, it's free. But most people, they don't even want to, they don't want that conversation. I said, what are you afraid of? Worst case scenario, they'll tell you, you don't qualify, here's the reason why, work on this, and come back in 3 months or come back in a year, and at least you know what to do rather than us guessing. And yeah.
Interesting.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. So, have you ever had a deal actually fall apart at the last minute?
Yeah, I did.
So, what happened? Why did it fall apart?
I did, and I have another one to tell you. It wasn't mine, but it was. When I heard that one, I was just blown away. All right, so for mine, a lot of us play susu,
Yeah.
jangi.
Jangi,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. So I usually say, depending on the lender, you may not be able to buy a house. we have ways to go about putting that money into your account. Like we can have somebody gift you that money, give it to you like a gift. But don't, because when they ask you your 2 months bank statement, they will screen every single transaction. Anything that does not make sense, you have to write a letter.
So which ones are important? The transactions coming in or out of the account?
They look at everything.
Okay.
And if they see a transfer from another bank account, they may want to see that other bank account. Buying a house now has become more difficult. I guess what they are trying to prevent is fraud, money laundering and stuff. But to give you an example, this is somebody who was. Some people do side gigs, but when they go to buy a house, they don't mention it. So now they are looking at your account and you have about 50 different unexplained deposits or transfers from people, and they are like, how did you get all this money? Like, where is it now? You cannot, because you have to write a letter for each one, and then they have to read it and be okay with it.
So were the transactions from different businesses which
Different
they didn't
people,
report?
like you can go and do some plumbing job here, they transfer, give you the money. You go and maybe fix somebody's floor, they send you money. So now you came to them trying to get down payment assistance with your regular job, and then they see all this money coming in, and it's like, what's going on? You have a side gig, and you say, no, I don't have a side gig. They're like, okay, explain this money, and you cannot explain it. I've had another situation where it's somebody who is doing stock. So people are sending them money to trade for them. So you have so many transactions coming in and so many going out, like pay out, to take in, and in some cases, some lenders, it depends on what lender you work with, but some of them, depending on who you work with, they may disqualify it, and others they may not. But the other story I was about to talk about, this was a lender who told me about his deal that fell through. This person actually bought a house, closed on it, went, got his keys, and then they followed him and got the keys back.
Whoa.
Wow.
What?
I know it's not funny, I shouldn't be laughing.
So what happened?
All right, so this person was working their W-2 job, and then now trying to buy a house. So now the employer said, I want you to partner with me. So now he's a partner, right? He's getting bigger pay, and he just accepted, and everything was fine. So on that day of closing, they called him after he had gotten his keys, and they said, when you became a partner, you became self-employed. So you need 2 years of work experience as a self-employed person. So they got the keys, they got everything cancelled. So nobody even knew that was self-employment. Nobody. Yeah, so that was, when I heard that story, I was just like, wow, there's so much to learn. I mean, you hear stories like that. And
so self-employed means you're a business owner, right?
Yes.
You own your own business.
So if you're a business owner, you need at least 2 years experience. Like working in that, so they can
in that
see
business,
if you're if you're making money or if you're struggling. Wow. Yeah, that was when I heard that, I was like,
that's so disappointing. I don't know what I'm gonna do if
I don't even know. How do you even make that phone call to call that person back? Realtors, they've taken their commission checks. How do you start like taking everything back? Where do you? I
the
don't
documentation, everything.
Yes, everything. They had to. Yeah.
Damn, that must have been heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of lessons people can learn from this.
Oh yeah.
A lot of lessons.
Yeah. That's why I just say anything, call your realtor. Just ask, hey, is this like, okay, I'm about to do this thing. Is it okay? Like, people will be buying houses now. Excitement, they go and buy furniture. You don't qualify for a house anymore. They go take furniture on credit. Now that's new debt. Now your debt to income ratio is above what they expect. And then now you can't buy a house anymore. Or you go co-sign a loan for somebody, or you decide to just quit your job, or you change jobs. So changing jobs is not usually a very big problem. But if you were trying to qualify with 2 jobs, they want at least one. Some lenders require 2 years at both jobs. So if you change jobs now, they only use 1 job. So they had already used 2 to qualify you. Now it's 1 job. You cannot be approved. So it's
So you're saying if I start a business, for example, let's say if I start let's say a restaurant, or any business out here, any business venture,
Yeah.
within 6 months or 8 months, if I make a substantial amount of money, like let's say 60 grand, and I want to get a house with it, I'm not gonna qualify.
No. They need to see your tax return for 2 years, because it could be like, hey, that was your lucky 6 months and you did so well. So they want to see those 2 years and be like, okay, you have downtimes, you have times that you're up, but if we put it all together, it shows that you can buy a house. So no, you won't be able to.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Because okay, so they want to. So you're saying that it's easier with a W-2 than a business.
Yeah, but the thing with W-2, they still want 2 years of work history. It doesn't matter if you are jumping from job to job. It should show that you've been working for about 2 years. And they can use your job back home. Like if you were back in Cameroon, you were working, and then now you've come here, it's just 6 months, and you can prove that you were working back home, and together it's 2 years, you qualify to buy a house.
Wow.
So
a follow up to that, right? I remember back in 2020, when we got hit by the COVID, I heard a lot of people lost their jobs, weren't able to keep up with mortgages, houses foreclosed, they weren't able to like keep up with their mortgages. What can they do in that situation? Or the second question is, if you close the house and then you lose the job, what can you do?
I think you have a few options. The best thing to do is to call your loan servicer, the people you're paying your mortgage to, and try to work with them. Sometimes they may say, okay, let's give you these 2-3 months off and see, you don't pay for this month, and then let's see what happens. Sometimes they may say, okay, instead of paying 3,000, let's bring it down, pay 1.5 or pay for these few months, let's see if you get a job soon. But at some point you have to sell it. If you don't get a job eventually, you have to sell it.
Wow.
Because whatever they are reduced, regardless of whether they lower how much you're paying or they give you a couple of months free, you will still have to pay that money, and interest doesn't sleep. So if they give you 5 months off, you have to pay interest for those 5 months, and then you have to catch up with those payments eventually. So if you see that it's getting to a point where it's like, I cannot, well, you can either sell it or see if, I don't know if anybody will really, nobody can take it over because it's in your name.
It's in your name. It's your property. Yeah.
So you have to make that tough decision because after some, if you don't do anything, come to an agreement with the bank, that's when you start hearing about foreclosure. You start hearing about, they'll send you a warning, and then eventually it goes to foreclosure. So.
Anyway, my last question, since we're running out of time before Dreda closes us. As a homeowner, right? What's the importance of having an LLC? And can homeowners use their mortgages to write off tax returns?
Just as a homeowner?
Yeah.
There are some things that I'm not a financial person, so I don't know. I can speak from a business perspective. Yeah. But as a homeowner, there are something like your property taxes, interest. There are some things that when you're filing your taxes, they will be able to tell you, hey, these are things that you can write off. So you get those, you get that back when you're filing your taxes. Now, if you're a business person, there's a lot more. You can your office space, any work you do to the house, utility bills. If you say, hey, I have 3,000 square foot of space in my house and my office is 1,000, everything you're paying for that house, you're deducting 1/3 of it for your So there are so many benefits to home ownership,
including the things you fix in the house as well.
Yes.
Wow.
Interesting. Thank you so much for today. This is a great conversation, and I guess this is going to benefit me and a lot of our viewers out there, because before now I knew nothing about buying a house. So maybe this is something I can go back home and consider.
Everything. Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Let's have a
Yeah.
housewarming
Yeah.
maybe by summer or by end of the
True.
year.
So after this, we can get her number so that we can keep it in case we want to get a house.
Definitely, yeah.
Or if you
Definitely.
want to get a house, you can always come to our comment section and then we will redirect you to her. Or maybe follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. You all know the memo. You already know what I'm about to say. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all social media platforms at 99.9 Problems. Thank you so much for those that have been watching and those that have been contributing. We are so grateful. There's nothing more than holding a child's hand and helping them walk. That first step is always very important, and they're going to keep you in mind for the rest of their lives. So please, guys, hold our hands and help us grow together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you on the next one.